All I can say is that the labels that have been attributed to me by social media are not true, and I don't accept them.
Okay. How are we feeling about this new lens, guys? Is it gonna be one of those things where only I can tell a difference? Probably. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's another day, and another Minecraft YouTuber has done something silly that should ruin their career, but considering the fact that their fan base is all children, it probably won't have much of an effect. So, you know, business as usual. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've never really found myself caring for any of the Minecraft YouTuber drama. The only one I've ever, like, taken time to try and look into was the whole Dream situation with, like, the gumball voice actor dude, because that situation was just bizarre. But when a Minecraft YouTuber gets outed for being a predator or an abuser, it's like, well, yeah, that's part of the contract they sign before YouTube decides to blow up their channel for no reason. Shouldn't really come as a surprise, so never really have felt the need to talk about any of those situations. But you guys know that I love a good bad apology video, and I will never pass up the opportunity to talk about one, so that's why we're here today. Wilbur Soot is a name that I've heard many times over the years, but if I'm being completely honest, up until about 2 or 3 hours ago, I would not have been able to pick him out of a crowd. That was until I saw on Reddit that he sort of made a return to YouTube with a video briefly addressing how he was accused of being an abusive partner about 2 years ago. And I'm not claiming to be an expert on the Wilbur Soot situation TM, but I do possess the ability to read, and I think I've kind of got an understanding of the situation. You don't really need to know the details to kind of appreciate the shittiness of his return video, but I'm gonna give you a quick summary anyways. Shooting for 20 seconds or less on this one, we all know that's not gonna happen. Just play along, okay? Wilbur Soot was in a relationship with a woman named Shelby. Shelby came forward making some allegations against a person she was in a former relationship with. People connected the dots and realized that it was Wilbur Soot. She said that he would bite her to the point of bleeding, ignore safe words, make fun of her in front of friends, give her bruises, and she said that all this stuff got progressively worse as the relationship went on. Wilbur made a statement acknowledging all of this, saying that he was a bad partner, but that everything that Shelby was describing was consensual. A lot of people were not happy with his statement. I think that he said that he had like some proof that this was all consensual and this was all like her idea, but said for privacy reasons he didn't want to share that. After this, he sort of disappeared from the internet. Okay, 36 seconds, only basically double of what I said it would be, not bad. So yeah, that's really all I think you need to know to appreciate the silliness of this return video, and appreciate it we will now. But before we do that, I think it's important that we take a step back and just listen to the world around us. Do you hear that? I sure do. That's the sound of summer, baby. More warmth, more light, more time to spend outside, and make sure you're enjoying every minute of it. Summer's the time to be out and about, whether that's enjoying the sun, going fishing, going on a run, going on a hike, whatever you do, it can be made better with the Everyday Earbuds by Raycon, baby. That's right, I'm here once again to give you guys the goods. Now look, it's time that we all just come to terms with the fact that the Raycon Everyday Earbuds are the perfect summer accessory. Whether you're hitting the gym hard, you're out at the beach, or just spending some time out relaxing in the sun. Being able to have premium audio wherever you go is going to make whatever you're doing just that much more enjoyable. With a 32-hour battery life, a quick charge function that turns 10 minutes of charging into 90 minutes of battery life, and active noise cancellation, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better summer companion. They have an ergonomic design to fit the widest range of ears, and optimized gel tips for that perfect custom fit. They've also just got these bad boys weatherproofed, which if you live in the South like me, having a pair of sweat-resistant earbuds, it's a game changer. I use these earbuds all the time at the gym, and the fit and the battery life make sure that I'm never without music when I'm trying to hit those PRs, baby. My gym is also one of those like community-focused gyms, so people are always yapping. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that, and the active noise cancellation really comes in clutch during those situations because, well, I don't want to hear you when I'm trying to lift. Sue me. They've also got these sick protective case covers that not only let you express your personal style a little bit more, but they also support wireless charging, so you never even have to take it off. Now, not only does Raycon offer everything I've already mentioned, but they also offer a 30-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. So really, there's no risk in giving them a shot. And if you want to, go to buyraycon.com/AugustTheDuck to get 15% off of Raycon's best-selling everyday earbud. I want to thank Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. Please subscribe.
People of 2025. I hope you've all been well. This video is going to be a bit of a different one for me. I've never been very good at update videos, but this channel's been inactive for so long, I thought one was probably well overdue. So I wanted to take this opportunity to quickly talk about what I've been up to the past couple of years, what you can expect from me going forward, and of course, future YouTube content. I've been really quite busy these past few months, so I haven't really had that much to show you guys anyway.
Okay, so he's going to acknowledge here in just a second that, quote, part of the reason that he went inactive on YouTube was because of the allegations, but I'm really not a fan of this new method. I personally call it the Miranda Sings method, of doing something bad, doing something that you get canceled for, and then just disappearing without really addressing it, and then coming back to YouTube like nothing ever happened. Coming back and acting like the reason you left YouTube was not because you were outed as a predator or an abuser or a gross person. Like I said, he's about to say that him being busy and doing all this stuff isn't the only reason, but the reality is that it wasn't a reason at all. It's a personal pet peeve of mine when people behave like this, when they act like the people watching their videos have the IQ of a toddler. Your decision to change up your content on YouTube and focus on music more did not just so happen to coincide with the exact same time that you got outed for being an abuser. The reason you left YouTube and gave up the millions of dollars you were making on this website was because of the allegations made against you. No other reason. Don't sugarcoat it.
But as most of you probably already know, that isn't the only reason I've been so quiet. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a quick minute to touch on that before I move into what the future holds. There's been a lot of different clashing labels and opinions about me on the internet over the past year, the loudest of which on both sides of the fence have been quite unhealthy, stemming from accusations made about me from just over a year ago. And look, I'm not here to drop any bombshells. I don't want to reopen any old discussions. I responded to the situation in February of last year, and I still stand by everything I said in that statement. I understand it was misinterpreted by some people, probably due to my wording, and I know some people are still looking for clarity, especially nowadays where personal transparency is more common amongst content creators than it's ever been before.
Okay, so I wanted to let that whole little section play out right there. We haven't even gotten to this guy's shitty reason for not clearing his name, but just the way this guy talks, the smugness of it, really rubbing me the wrong way. Bad first impression, Wilbur. This is why, if you're gonna do the Miranda Sings method, just come back and don't say anything. Don't acknowledge anything, act like nothing happened. Because saying shit like this is just digging the hole deeper. There's been a lot of clashing labels and opinions about me over the last year, the loudest ones on both sides being rather unhealthy, like the ones calling you a woman abuser. Yeah, man, if you abuse a woman, that's kind of the only label to give you, and that's really only unhealthy for you. Crazy thing to say. Not here to drop any bombshells, don't want to reopen any old discussions. I don't know, man, I think if the entire planet thought I was a woman abuser, I'd be willing to reopen that discussion if I had proof to say otherwise. And your statement was misinterpreted by some people? No, dude, I read your statement, it was in plain English, I don't think there was a whole lot to misinterpret. It was just a bad statement. It was a non-apology where you claimed to have proof that you're innocent and then you said, actually, I don't want to share any of that. Stop misrepresenting the situation.
However, this clarity, the clarity I've offered to my close friends and my family, would mean publicly sharing deeply personal parts of my private life and my relationships with the internet. I've never been comfortable doing that, and I don't believe that should be the cost of being understood. All I can say is that the labels that have been attributed to me by social media are not true, and I don't accept them. I don't believe in this expectation that content creators should use their platforms to attack and defend, and I definitely don't think that's how serious accusations should be handled. I felt this way for a really long time now, having seen other content creators go through similar situations, and I know it's not a perspective that's going to satisfy everyone, but it's one I can get behind. And I hope that makes sense to you.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. As a content creator, I can sympathize with parts of what he's saying. There is sort of an expectation for if you're ever accused of anything, if anybody ever says anything about you, you've got to dump out all the receipts, you've got to go balls to the wall proving that everything said about you is not true. Is that fair? Not really, but that's the internet. It's not really anything new. It seems like society has agreed that that is one of the prices you'll have to pay to be able to make millions of dollars playing a video game. Now, whether or not that's fair, I'm not going to sit here and worry about because that's the way it is. So yes, I can understand that it might feel unfair to have to dump out all your private info to clear your name. However, what's really left on the table here, Wilbur? The entire internet already thinks that you're an abuser, and they know that you were in a relationship where at least at some point, y'all were into biting to the point where you needed a safe word. What is showing a text of this woman saying, please bite me as hard as you can, gonna change, dude? You know what I mean? It's like, look, maybe Wilbur's just a better guy than I am if you think being a good guy means allowing a woman to spread defamatory career-ending lies about you for no reason, but if somebody says some crazy shit about me and just starts lying about my actions, I'm not gonna be like, I actually respect this woman's privacy quite a bit. You guys can just think I'm an awful person, even though I have all these texts proving I'm not. Like, what the fuck is that? You're full of shit, dude. Nobody in their right mind would do this. Also, he says he's offered this clarity to close friends, but didn't a bunch of his friends distance themselves from him after this all came out? Interesting.
None of this is me trying to dig up or dwell on the past here. I would just feel very strange if I carried on without at least acknowledging the past year. because all I can do now is move forward, and I hope you enjoy what I've been working on.
So this is really where the Miranda Sings method shines. When you wait long enough, it looks like the sweet spot is right around a year. If you wait out your controversy for about a year, the people who care a lot are going to be gone. They're going to have moved on. They're not going to support you anymore. They're not going to be checking your channel. They're not going to care, and they're probably not going to have that much energy to care once you come back. So the only people left who are going to give a shit about what you're doing are the diehard fans. We've seen this with Miranda Sings. We saw this with Cody Ko. And if you look at the comment section of this video, we're seeing it with this guy. And like, look, I'm not trying to police what anybody watches on the internet. If you want to watch content from a guy who seems to be kind of a shitty dude, that's your prerogative. But just go in knowing that's what you're doing, you know, be aware of what's happening here. This guy was likely instructed by a PR team to sort of disappear for a while, you know, stockpile content, and then come back and pretend like nothing ever happened. Also, and I will admit this is my biased opinion, I would suggest that you don't get in the habit of believing people with stories this bad. Again, this guy is claiming to have evidence that would completely clear his name, but he does not want to make that evidence public, so a person who ruined his life and career will not have their privacy jeopardized? Come on, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Well guys, what do you think? Personally, I don't feel like this is the worst update or apology, return video, whatever you want to call it. It's not really an apology video, but it's definitely something. And like I've said many times before, I don't even really understand the point of like bringing up the whole controversy if all you're gonna say is basically, it's your fault if you didn't like my statement, and I refuse to elaborate any further, even though I can make this all go away. You know what I mean? Like at that point, why even mention it at all? Just come back like nothing happened. I don't know. It's not like the people who are gonna continue to watch your videos after you come back from that are gonna care anyways. They've obviously already made their peace with it, or they just don't care. So like, why even mention it? It makes no sense. Especially if you're gonna do it like Wilbur just did. I don't get it. I don't get the thought process. I don't get the decision making here, but I guess I don't understand most of the decisions that people I make videos about make, so at least we're consistent. See ya.